light up a room, you know, he's a character. And he's one of those persons that were outspoken, which, like me, he'll tell you like it is. And whether you like it or not, you don't care. But people like that about Kenny. Kenny was very young, and he should still be here with us today. But unfortunately, the plan didn't go the way we all wanted. Kenny enjoyed sports. He enjoyed playing his pro football, flag football. His favorite team was Dallas Cowboys. So, just to share a few phrases, my husband's a Ravens fan, and I'm a Steelers fan. So Kenny loved, Steelers beat the Ravens. He always joked, and he loved to see our posts on Facebook where I'm bashing my husband's teams. Kenny got a kick out of that. But God forbid, don't you say nothing about those Dallas Cowboys. He didn't like that. Kenny enjoyed his garden. He enjoyed cooking. He would come to our house for cookouts, and he'd take over the grill. Holidays, we spent a lot of holidays with our family at our home. And it'd be me in the kitchen, and my husband in the kitchen, and here comes Kenny. So 3 of us is too many in the kitchen. So I leave the kitchen, and Robert and Kenny would finish out. And I get to do the cleanup. So now I'm going to read my husband's. He wrote a little bit. Bear with me, because we have a lot to go over. I'm going to try to do the best I can. I want to thank everyone for coming to celebrate the life of my brother Kenneth. As kids growing up, we were little badasses. We did everything together as kids. Brothers shooting minnows and crawdads in the creek with our BB guns, killing squirrels with our 410s, and going fishing down at the Potomac River. There's so many memories with my brother growing up, but obviously, I haven't had time for it. Kenny and I were playing in the yard, and Dad's hollering, "Come on, boys, we're going to the grocery store," known as the Brunswick Acme. So we get in the back seat of our dad's black 65 Thunderbird and headed to the store. Got to the store, and Dad gets out and said, "Sit still, boys. I'll be right back." We said, "Okay." Get us some candy. As soon as our dad went into the store, Kenny looked at me and said, "Let's get up front and make out we're driving the car." I said, "Okay." Kenny climbed over to the driver's seat, and I climbed in the passenger seat. Now we're both in the front seat laughing our asses off. Kenny's turning the steering wheel left and right. His hands were just a-flying and making engine noises with his mouth. Then all of a sudden, the car started going backwards. We looked at each other, and we were laughing and having a good time, then went to crying our asses off. Don't know if we were crying because we were scared or we're going to get our ass whipped again. The only thing to stop the car was we hit that big ass parking lot curve, and the car came to a dead stop. Thank God, or we would have been drifting right across West Potomac Street down in the bank into the railroad tracks. Oh, by the way, we got another ass whipping and cried our asses off again. Kenny and I loved going to our dad's softball games. Our dad had his own softball team called Deener's Tribe. There was one game our dad took us to, and Kenny had everything planned out for the day. Our dad loved drinking his PBR during softball games, and Kenny knew that. So we were at the softball field for the game. And I looked at my brother and said, "What's the plan?" So Kenny obviously was the troublemaker. Kenny said, "Plan is, when Dad opens his PBR and sits it on the bench, then takes the field, we get to drink Dad's drink." So we did it. We had our first taste of beer. As we watched our dad come in from the field to grab his empty can of PBR off the bench, it was hilarious. Then Dad said, "Who in the hell is drinking my beer?" Kenny's plan was working well until the 5th inning, when Dad was taking the field that inning and he must have been watching. Okay, I lost my track. So Dad was watching the beer can on the bench like a hawk. He came from the field, hollered, "Boys, get over here right now." He said, "See that tree over there? I want you both of you to walk down to that tree and break a branch off and bring it back to me." We cried our drunk asses. My brother Kenny's pride and joy was his 1972 Nova, candy apple red. Kenny couldn't wait for the weekend. Kenny would have that car shining up for Friday night and headed to McDonald's on Route 40 to hang out. If you rode with Kenny that night, you probably would know every word to every Guns N' Roses song. Kenny would play Guns N' Roses all night long at the stoplights, and if he would see a hot-looking girl, it'd get louder, and he'd rewind. He had all the windows down and the volume cranked up. He wanted to make sure that everyone heard his Guns N' Roses. Have you seen Kenny and his Nova driving around? He always had his best friend, Jimmy Reynolds, known as Squeak. Squeak treated my brother as if he was his own brother. Thank you, Squeak. Kenny was always on Facebook to help. Kenny would text me and say, "I'm in a Facebook jail again. This time it's 30 days. Can you let everybody know that I'm in jail and I'll be back?" So Robert would make a post, tell everybody Kenny's in Facebook jail and he'll be back. Kenny was a true patriot, loved America and the American flag. Well, I guess I'm going to stop here for now. I could go on and on all night with all the memories I have, but I just wanted to share a few with you. Kenny, thanks for being my brother, my best friend. I still can't believe you're gone. Your time here on earth is done. Yes, God had other plans for you. Give them hell up there and try to stay out of jail. Surely going to miss our talks, texts, and especially your smile. I will cherish all of our memories in my heart until the day I'm done. I love you, miss you, rest in peace. Number 24, Deener. Brian, are you ready? You want me to take someone else to go first?
I'm never ready, but
I can let someone else go.
I'll
Brian's writing a book.
I'll win through it.
Brian, you want to go?
No, I'll go.
All right. Okay.
I'm Brian Wiles. Kenny's worked with me, I guess about the last 6 or 7 years. He worked with me for many times, he didn't work for me. He worked for himself and I'm not his choice. He was a damn good worker. You told him when we were going to the house at 6:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
There was only other 2 times he was late. Both of those damn horses got out. If he wasn't there, I knew he was chasing horses. He was a damn good worker. He was a damn good friend. There's many a times he gets all excited, he starts talking fast. And I gotta look at him and say, "Crackhead, what did you just say?" Slow down so I can understand it. He did good once he got through that initial thing, he had a good attitude. But it sucks, he was down real fast. You can see it, when he shows up to work every day.
I'm looking.
No, I missed it, Chris. I was rolling ceilings the other week, and I had to cut them in and roll instead of just cut them in. He will be totally missed, he was a hell of a nice guy. And we got a lot of work done in 6 years when we worked. But we didn't like working on Friday, so usually we did.
Brian. John, did you want to say anything? I know you got some nerves.
I've been standing a long time. Probably 25 years. Back in the day, dabble in a little drink, but not much. Always count on him. Always up the rules. Good guy. He's gonna be really missed. It's canoe down to my farm. Always stopping by to get a slide down the creek bank, go in the creek, load on down the creek, into the river, do his thing, I go pick him up. I could go on the page. Good hunting partner. Great fishing partner. Just a good guy.
Greg Shipman, for people that don't know who I am. Kenny started working for me May of '92. Worked for me for 25 years. And there's not one bad thing I can say about that man. He worked his ass off. He was there every single day, unless it was boat season. Or regular season. He worked, he took pride in everything he did. He always took the hardest job. When he started working with me, he had about a year's training experience. And in about 10 years, he was running crews down the road. We were doing 15,000 square foot residential single family homes that took a lot of tedious prep. And for you people that don't like painting, the prep is the worst. And he would stick with it no matter what. I mean, the guy could, he could take a sow's ear and make a silk purse out of it. I'm serious. And he would give you the shirt off his back, and was probably the most genuine person I ever met. Obviously, my customers love the guy. You know, him being with me that long, we did a lot of work for a lot of high-end people down in the Potomac and Bethesda. And the ladies loved it. You would bring them stuff out of the garden. You would bring them that salsa that you're eating. You bring them those pickles, all that stuff. They loved it. Oh my God, Kenny, you haven't changed in 20 years. I heard that all the time. We knew him for a long time. I mean, until he got sick 3 or 4 years ago, he just didn't age, didn't change. One of the funny stories I want to tell, and there's a lot of them I can tell to some of you guys, but not everybody. we were doing a big addition, in-house remodel job down in Potomac. And we knew the people because the guy we were doing it for was also doing, you know, the tile company, Washington Tile and Marble. His name was Ron Deener. So we knew him from doing the big houses and the job. Well, this job was at his house. And we were there for probably a month. And right before Thanksgiving, his wife wasn't so great of a cook. She was trying to make mashed potatoes. And they were like about as runny as milk. Daddy didn't step right in that kitchen and show her how to make it. And we laughed about that. And I actually put no charge on my invoice for him teaching that woman.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go. All right, hey, everybody, thanks for coming. We've got at least 100 people here. The turnout has been awesome. This morning, about 10:30, we had about another 100 people show up for a flag football game in Kenny's honor. So I come up here, I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for this group of guys over here. and just like everybody else said, the intimate stories we had with Kenny. There's 6 things I want to touch on. First thing I want to touch on is thank yous. I want to tell you how I met Kenny, how that went into flag football and all the football we did. I want to talk about building houses, building cars, and camping. So I do want to start with thank yous. Probably since about 2013, 2014 is when flag football started. And we started with flag because the teams we played up in Washington County, there were local teams. There were Smithsburg teams. There were Hagerstown teams. There were Boonesboro teams. And damn it, Brunswick needed a flag team. The flag football we played just wasn't like your typical 2-man touch. It was full contact, 9-man football. Everything went. You just couldn't hit the ball carrier. And I played for a year for the Boonesboro team, and that was just sacrilegious. We needed a Brunswick team, so I formed a Brunswick team after a year playing with the Boonesboro guys, and because it's full contact flag, you need some big boys, you know, and it's just all about speed and talent. So I reached out to Robert. I reached out to a lot of guys, and probably through Joey Bassford. You can see Robert. Robert's probably 6'3", 230 pounds, and we could have used you. We needed some beef on the line. Robert came out, and I think we were chasing down Kenny. Robert brought Kenny along with him. We were at the park on 67th, Pleasant Valley, the scrimmage game, and it was about 1 or 2 plays in. You pulled your hamstring. Not Kenny. Not Kenny. Kenny was licking his chops. Kenny had played 20 years earlier in Washington County flag football. And it's this guy right here filming, Joey Bassford. I think everybody from Brunswick knows the Bassford name. That Kenny played with Joey's dad. So 20 years later, we got Kenny back out on the field. And that's how I met Kenny. In our first, where's Brian Davis at? In our first games, our first season is 9-man football. We bring 10 or 11 guys to that field, and we took it. We took it with no KY. We took it for many years with no KY, but we grew. And there's a guy right there, Mike Beachley. And half the people in here wouldn't be here right now because if it wasn't for Mike Beachley. Mike came on. I ran these convicts, and but Mike made us football players, and we were never good at flag football. We were never good, but Mike made us respectable, and Kenny made us respectable. And everybody in Washington County flag football had respect for Kenny Deener, and once Kenny passed, I want to encourage everybody to go to Kenny's Facebook page, because there are so many people that Kenny touched. And we knew this, like we kind of knew it, right? Like Kenny was respected in Washington County flag football because he was 49 years old when he started. Well, his second stint. And people loved Kenny for his age. But we knew Kenny was everybody's friend. And behind the scenes, Kenny was doing so much. And those stories are shared on Kenny's page right now. Like there's problems with social media, but there's also benefits of social media. And I encourage everybody to go to Kenny Deener's page and read. There's going to be people you don't know. There were people I didn't know from Washington County flag football that Kenny reached out to, and whether they were having depression or problems with their children or whatever, Kenny lent his ear. And it didn't matter if you were white or if you were black. Kenny did not see color. Kenny didn't see color. He is the best of America. He is the best American. And every day, Kenny would be so proud of the American flag. And so I'm getting back to my thank yous. Robert and Cheryl, we've been doing this for about a month. And you all shared the stories at Hopkins. And can we just give Robert and Cheryl a round of applause right now? I know what you went through. I know what FMH did. I know how good Hopkins was. And you guys were there 24/7. And you're a true brother. You're a true sister-in-law. So I just wanted to say thank you. Yeah, sorry. Hey, I wanted to do that at the field. And a couple of my guys said, we can't handle it. So we're going to do it here. So we clapped. So Mike, we were going to clap. So we clapped here. Cheryl Deener. Joey Basswood, going back to the flag football. I am going to bring everything together.
You good?
The TV has cut out. But I think almost every video clip you'll see of Kenny, and Kenny's energy, Joey, you captured. You captured it at Washington County Flag Football. You captured it at the alumni game. You captured it at our first semi-pro game.
I remember.
So, Joey, you may never be rich, but in our hearts, Joey, you are rich, okay? We love you, man, okay? Mike Beachley, Rick Beachley. Rick, you work behind the scenes. I can't tell everybody what Rick does. Rick, you're my right-hand man. Rick Beachley. And the entire semi-pro team. We've got a lot of people here. There are some people here that do not know Kenny, and they showed up today. And I appreciate you guys. The refs are here, and a lot of the semi-pro people here. Hollywood, this means a lot. Zell, thank you so much. Again, I'm here speaking, but I'm speaking on these guys. Brunswick, outside. Jim Stewart, okay. We have to say special thank you to Jay's people. Everybody from Brunswick should know Jay's people. Again, a little bit like Rick, a little bit like me, we do some things behind the scenes. Jay's people does things behind the scenes. Jim Stewart, Jeff Smith, Jeff Jones, thank you guys. They did a big part of this. Thank you very much, Jim. We did play a flag football game today in Brunswick flag football fashion. We lost 26-0. But I tell you what, if we put on shoulder pads and helmets, we would have won 26-0. Kenny's semi-pro football team, in 5 years, we lost 5 games. And we were playing teams in D.C., in Baltimore, in Philly, in Richmond, in little old Brunswick, just like the Green Bay Packers. We held our own. We held our own. All right, so I told you how I met Kenny. Met Kenny through Robert. Kenny was the oldest in the league. He was a friend to everybody. Everybody has agreed Kenny's thing. The alumni games. Kenny Deener, when he played so from our flag, there were a couple. There were a couple teams in the Washington County Flag Football League, Smithsburg, Boonesboro specifically, that played alumni football. It was every man's dream. You get one more chance to play a high school football game than you played against your rival. And I was like, hell, Brunswick has to get in on this. And we did. And we played a all-star team of Washington County. It was like 5 schools. There were some boys from Baltimore that came in. And Kenny never played high school football. And Kenny was 49. His first full contact football at Brunswick High School was in this alumni game. And I shit you not, the first tackle of the game was it was a 5-yard out to the running back. Kenny made the tackle. And that's something we'll always remember. After the alumni game, which we won 27-12, that's what kind of started the semi-pro. That's what started semi-pro. We went down to DC, and we played a semi-pro team out of DC. And I'm kind of like the team mom. Mike is kind of the team dad. But we were playing a semi-pro game. I don't know. I think we were going up against, like Chicago Bears or something. I wanted to win. We were from Brunswick. I wanted to make a statement. Mike was in charge of the defense. And Mike started Kenny at corner in that game. And I grabbed Mike's chest. I said, come here. I said, we need to win this game. Mike's bigger than me. If Mike would take his shirt off, Mike's a pretty big dude.
I'll leave it on. I'll leave it on. Maybe later, we'll see.
And what Mike said to me was, Kenny hasn't missed a practice. Kenny is Brunswick in and out. And Brian, Kenny is starting this game. And I've made a lot of mistakes running these guys for 5 or 10 years. And that was one of them. Mike started Kenny. You'll see some of the pictures up here. And thank you, Mike. Thank you. Going back to what Kenny did, building houses. I got a house in Brunswick, and Kenny has painted all of it. I finished my basement, and Kenny did all of the drywall work. With that, like I framed it, I helped hang the drywall, my son and I did all that, and Kenny was there to lead us. And not only did Kenny have an impact on me, but Kenny had an impact on my son, right? And Preston's right there, Robert. So, like, that's how awesome Kenny was. Like, not only did he affect me, he affected my son. And there are things my son learned from Kenny that he'll know all my life. While Kenny came to my house and we built my house, I raced cars for 15 years, so I have like pools. And Kenny loved his Blazers, right? Them Blazers are GM. The GMs break all the time. So Kenny and I, one day we'd work on my house, the next day we'd work on his Blazers, right? And finally, the other thing Kenny and I did together, we camped. We camped. We went on the rivers, and I was a Potomac guy, and he was a Monocacy guy. And that Kenny pulled the biggest catfish you've ever seen. And we always didn't align because I wanted to camp on the Potomac. He wanted to camp. He wanted to camp on the Monocacy, and but we did get to camp. To pull all this together, there are things that bring guys together. American men like football. We like building houses. We like building cars. And we like the outdoors. And Kenny was my guy for all 4 of those. And when Kenny passed, before Kenny passed, I didn't realize like how close Kenny and I were. And Kenny and I was. And now that Kenny passed, Kenny was my guy. Like, every time I come home to my house now, I see the work Kenny did. I see Kenny cleaned my house in the rain, right? Kenny painted all my trim outside of my house, and all of the paint in my house and all the dry work in my house was Kenny. Kenny hung ceiling fans in my house. And Kenny and I played football together. And we also played softball together. And we built cars, we built houses, and we camped. And just for us, like rednecks, like, he's my boy. And I just want everybody to know how awesome he was. And I have some regrets. And I've got like 2 minutes left and I'm done, I'm sorry. One thing I did when we played our alumni game was I wanted to capture it. And I wanted to make everybody football cards. And I got down to the case. And the last card I made was Casey Farr. And you can see here, the next name is Kenny Deener. And I think out of anybody, Kenny would have got the biggest kick of having his own football card. So this is Kenny's football card and how to do it after he died. And that's going to live with me. I got one more story that's going to live with me. As I said, Kenny and I, we built houses. And in January of 2023, January of 2022, this is Kenny's drill. This is Kenny Deener's drill. This is his drywall drill. And what this drill does is it sets drywall screws and it puts them right underneath the drywall. So we finished a couple rooms in my basement, and we were halfway through. One of the semi-pro guys rented a room for me, and I had to quickly build the room because my son unexpectedly moved back. My 23-year-old son moved back into the house, so the guy didn't have enough bedrooms. So Kenny and I had to quickly build a room in the basement for Steve Gallagher. And as we were working, as we were hanging the drywall, the gun broke. It's just the gun, no power. Plug it into AC, works sometimes, doesn't work. So I know something in this gun has just come unscrewed, backed off a little bit. It's an electrical problem. Kenny, like this gentleman said over here, Kenny would give you the shirt off his back. He would be there the next day for you if you needed something. And that day that this drill broke, he said, Brian, I'm going to leave this drill with you because I know you can fix it. You fix everything. And that drill sat on my kitchen island for a year. For a year. And I didn't fix it. And then Kenny died. So now I have Kenny's drill that's not fixed. But I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to use this drill for the rest of my life. This drill is probably going to take me 5 minutes to fix. And in the last year, as Kenny would take his shirt off his back for you, I didn't do it for him. And I just wanted to convey that story. And this story, it's no different than this story about the football card. Like, Kenny would have loved to have a football card. And to wrap us up, just love everybody. And tomorrow's never promised. And learn from my mistakes, my failures, and just be good people and love your family, love your friends. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.